Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth, and salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquath that may listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Raquai. I'm back in here with another quick lesson. And for today's lesson is titled Hezekiah's Prayer, right? And I was just thinking about this story earlier, and then I just thought I would, kind of go through it again, and then, as Lord's will, hopefully this would be an edifying lesson. So, without further ado, let's actually just jump right in, right? Because I want to cover just a little bit. But as always, I pray and hope that these lessons are edifying, right? So let's jump into the story real quickly. Okay, this is during the reign of King Hezekiah of the Southern Kingdom. Right? So this is Second Kings chapter 19, verse 10. Just a little context. I'm just gonna scroll up so you can see what's so here it says Hezekiah seeks the Lord's help, right? And okay, so I'll read the first verse and then I'll jump down to the 10th verse. So it says, when King Hezekiah heard the report, he tore his clothes and put burlap and went into the temple of the Lord. So we're going to go down to verse 10. So right here, here's his enemy. So just a picture of context, this guy named of the king of the Assyrians named Sennacherib is trying to he's coming up against, trying to combat against Hezekiah, right? So here it says, Sennacherib defies the Most High, right? So he's, he was taunting, he was trying to, speak his, great things and so on and so forth, right? So the verse 10, it says, this message is for King Hezekiah of Judah. Don't let your power in whom you trust deceive you with promises that Jerusalem will not be captured by the king of Assyria. Right. So, he's trying to kind of like sow doubt into your mind, kind of like, that happens to us too, right. When here it says, verse 11, you know perfectly well what the kings of Assyria have done wherever they have gone. I'm reading in the NLT, by the way. They have completely destroyed everyone who stood in their way. Why should you be any different? Have the gods of the nations rescued them? Such nations as Gozan, Haran, Rezeph, and the people of Edom who were in Telassar. My predecessors destroyed them all. So he's listing off, he's really, really prideful, right? So he starts listing off, a bunch of these, different, his predecessors, I've done this, and this, essentially what he's kind of doing, he's kind of like listing off his resume, you know what I'm saying? Verse 13, and it says, what happened to the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad? What happened to the kings of Sepharvaim and Hena and Eva? All right, so this is really the crux of what Hezekiah is doing, right? After Hezekiah received the letter from the messengers and read it, he went into the Lord's temple and spread it before the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And Hezekiah prayed this prayer before the Lord, O Lord, power of Israel, you are enthroned between the mighty cherubim. You alone, the power of all the kingdoms of the earth. You alone created the heavens and the earth. Bend down, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, and listen. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see. Listen to Sennacherib's words that of defiance against the living power. It is true, Lord, that the king of Assyria have destroyed all these nations, and they have thrown the gods of these nations into the fire and burnt them. But of course, the Assyrians could destroy them. They were not gods at all, only idols. As a matter of fact, let me get a quick precept for that before I continue. Okay, this is Psalms chapter 96, verse 5, and it reads, For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, made the heavens, right? So, he actually had an understanding that, all these different, quote unquote, so-called gods that are people, worship, even to like today, Hezekiah actually understood that, there was only one power, because back then we had an understanding of who we were as a people, you know, and what knowing about, also the fact that we knew about who we were in line with our power, and we actually understood that knowing that our power had a reputation for the things that we did, coming out, that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai had done for us coming out of Egypt, right? Going back to the time during Joshua, right? So, verse 19, it says, O Lord, power of Israel. Let me read that again. Now, O Lord, our power, rescue us from his power. Then the kingdoms of the earth will know that you alone, O Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, are power, right? So, one of the reasons I wanted to, I guess, uh, bring this out, because, we're in that particular situation. Like if we just, you know, apply ourselves, like take ourselves and actually put ourselves in that situation, because when you really think about it as well, we're in that situation where, we need a savior, we need help. If there's anything that was been in the news recently, is essentially the crafty council, like it talks about in Psalms 83. All this crafty council that's being talked about is floating all over the media, and that entity that's strongly responsible for that crafty council is this body known as the WEF, right? The World Economic Forum, right? And they want to put out disease X, they want to do this and that, and this, that, and the third. They had this I don't know if the woman was an Israelite, but they looked like an Israelite, could be an Israelite, and they were doing all this different witchcraft and so on and so forth. So I have all these different devices that Satan is, laying out for us, right? Because we're in that similar situation, right? And it's so like important to like for me, like before I leave my house, I pray, right? Because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and spiritual wickedness in high places, right? And that's part of the reasons to I wanted to take Hezekiah's actions and take Hezekiah's situation and kind of equate it to like us, in 2024, right? Because we're pleading, we're calling upon the Lord, to help and save us out of this out of this this society, this place, this nation, these people, these enemies, right? Because the enemies are trying to get at us. Let me get another precept. So just bear with me on that, because I mentioned I mentioned prayer. Okay, this is Sirach chapter 35, verse 16, and it reads, He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds, till it come nigh. He will not be comforted, nor will not depart, till the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment, right? And that's, that's one of the things that we want Yahweh Bashim Shai to do, especially in these times, is to protect us, right? Those of us, who serve, your Heavenly Father through His Son, right? And to rescue us from this, these different wickedness, these wicked leaders, that are putting out all these different devices, and such as the charagma, and all these different diseases, and so on and so forth. All these different devices, essentially, to try and to destroy us as a people. Let me go back to the story really quickly. And this was the Most High's response. So here it says, verse 20. Here it says, verse 20. Then Isaiah, son of Amos, sent the message to Hezekiah. This is what the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the power of Israel, says. I have heard your prayer about Sennacherib of Assyria, and the Lord has spoken this word against him. The virgin daughter of Zion despises you and laughs at you. The daughter of Jerusalem shakes her head in derision as you flee. Whom have you been defying and ridiculing? Against whom did you raise your voice? At whom did you look with such haughty eyes? It was the Holy One of Israel. By your messengers you have defied the Lord. You have said, with my chariots I have conquered the highest mountains. Yes, the the remotest peaks of Lebanon. I have cut down the tallest cedars and the finest cypress trees. I have reached the farthest corners and explored its deepest forests. I have dug in many foreign lands and refreshed myself with their water. With the sole of my foot, I stopped up all the rivers of Egypt. But have you not heard? I decided this long ago. So everything that he was boasting that he did, was already planned. It wasn't of his own accord. That's what the Lord is trying to, outline here through Isaiah, right? So all this boasting that he does, right? Kind of like how today, you saw his boasting in this and that and so on and so forth, but right? But the Lord controls both sides, pursuant to Isaiah 45 and 7, right? They just don't know that, they have a essentially a part to play. You know what I'm saying? Just like, the king of Assyria at the time had his part to play, you know. So I want to jump down. I'll jump down closer to the end, right, to kind of solidify the point. Okay, this is verse 32, and it says, and this is what the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai says about the king of Assyria. His armies will not enter Jerusalem. They will not shoot an arrow at it. They will not march outside the gates and their shields, nor build banks or of earth against its walls. The king will return to his own country by the same road which he came. He will not enter this city, said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai. For my honor and for the sake of my servant David, I will defend this city and protect it. And that's what this, that's exactly what we want, during these times. We want the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai to defend us and protect us, during these times. Let's get, I believe it's Psalms 91. Okay, Psalms 91, verse 9, and it reads, because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh Bashim Hawashai, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, right? So, that is the difference between, two-thirds of our people and the hopeful elect during these times, because they are making the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai their habitation, as opposed to a character such as Rick Ross, who's making his own doomsday, what's it called, like a bunker or something like that, and a bunch of these celebrities making that their refuge and their fortress, right? The name of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai is a strong tower, and that's what we want. That's the defense that we need during these times to come, right? Okay, last verse here. It says, and the angel of the Lord went out of the Assyrian camp and killed 185,000 Assyrian soldiers. When surviving Assyrians woke up the next morning, they found corpses everywhere. Then Sennacherib of Assyria broke camp and returned to his own land. He went home and to his capital of Nineveh and stayed there. Right. So the Lord jacked up this king. Right. And that is the kind of protection we want, in times to come, when Jacob's trouble really really starts to climax, and Esau brings out his crafty devices. Let's get Revelation. Okay, this is Revelation 12 and 12, and it reads, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil come down upon you with having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath a short time. And that's the wrath that Esau is bringing, through these different devices, such as the charagma, and all these biological warfare and civil unrest, and all these different devices that he's trying to destroy, destroy our people with, right? But there's a flip side to that. Two-thirds of our people are going to be completely destroyed and judged, and the elect will be purified. Let's get Sirach 51 verse 7, and it reads, they compassed me on every side, and there was no man to help me. I looked for the succor of men. Before I continue, let me just get that word. Oh, I see. Okay, so succor means to aid, help, assistance, hasten to the aid of, right? Right, and that's what we want. We want quick help. um I'll read this again, and it says, they compassed me on every side, and there was no man to help me. I looked for the succor of men, so the aiding of men, but there was none. For I thought upon thy mercy, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and upon thy acts of old, right? Kind of like the story we were just reading. Another scripture that also goes with that is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. The works, the things that were written before time were written for our learning, right? So when we go through these different, stories, because, these men of old, whether it be Hezekiah, Solomon, Yahushai, Joseph, so on and so forth. When they went through these particular situations, the three holy children, when they went through these different situations, it gives us comfort, right? Continuing on, it says, I looked for the succor of men, but there was none. Then thought I upon thy mercy, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and upon the acts of old, how thou deliverest such as wait for thee, and savest them out of the lands of the enemies. Then lifted I up my supplications from the earth and prayed for deliverance from death. Wow, and that is something that we want during these times, right? So, anyways, I'll leave it there. I didn't want to make the lesson too long, but I pray and hopefully this actually solidifies the point. Taking Hezekiah's story, the actions that he performed in the midst of that situation, and seeing the end result, right? So we can actually have comfort and hope, when we're completely like stripped away from our necessities from society, and we're in that situation of like immediate like temptation, right? Right. So anyways, I'll leave it there. But as always, I pray and hopefully this lesson was edifying. And I'd like to give our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh. Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth. Till next time, I say Shalom.